It's the year that requires no introduction. 2020 started out well for me. I had just graduated college a few months before.
It's all downhill from here.
I was working full-time and just figuring out my transition into adulthood. I was hanging out with my girlfriend and my friends and doing a lot of self-reflection. And I honestly thought, I don't know how 2020 could possibly not be a good year for me. And then I got into a pretty gnarly car accident. I couldn't get up without physically supporting my head for weeks. I was in constant pain. My hands and feet would go numb. I couldn't work out, which is my number one form of self-expression. And the first day that I was finally cleared to work out was the same day that my state entered a lockdown. And then COVID happened. The gym shut down, everything shut down, and I had nowhere else left to go but in. So I went on walks and I listened to podcasts. I journaled every single morning and I had way more time than ever before to sit with myself. And in this season of pain and everything being shut down, just like the offensive line breaking at the start of the down, I saw a hole opening up in my life and I ran right through it. I started a YouTube channel. My name is Ari, and welcome to the channel. It was the first time in my life that I've truly committed to something. A video a week, every single week, for the next 3 years. This is, and continues to be, the longest bet that I've ever placed on myself. Showing up every single week with no guarantees that this is gonna work, that this is gonna have any sort of an impact, just trying to show people that living a vulnerable life is living a strong life and living a life that you're gonna be the most proud of. I've opened up about my body traumas and body insecurities. I've talked about my sexual abuse and the toxicity of my family life and triggers and trying to figure out what my place is in this world in front of a camera. It's been unbelievably hard to show up every week being vulnerably seen and showing people the rawest, deepest parts of myself with no guarantee that that risk is gonna pay off, but I can say that it has. The impact that that has had on my personal relationships and making new friendships and not being afraid to just lean right in and jump into my inner core. But then I started to hit a few roadblocks. I would have creative blocks and this inability to be vulnerable if it wasn't a perfectly scripted video. I started to be more triggered at home, and I realized that I needed to start going to therapy, which is kind of like willingly walking through fire, trusting that those burns will heal if you just keep going. And I've learned so much about myself and my family, how I've hidden, how my post-traumatic stress responses have protected me but also kept me from living my best life. So I did a few things to change that. I ran a half marathon, learning another way to move and love my body. I became more loving of my body, eating more and stressing a tiny bit less about it. And now I'm getting ready to move out and live alone for the first time and confront what I truthfully believe is the biggest fear of my life. Myself. Okay, that's the outline. But what's the story? We can't choose what happens to us, but we can choose how we handle it. I've spent the last year being thrown into some of the hardest challenges of my life, and some of those challenges I did walk into willfully. Challenges with my body, with my mind, with my insecurities. But because I've kept running through them, they haven't stopped me. They haven't even slowed me down, and because I've leaned in, I've gone ahead, farther and faster. If this year has taught me anything at all, it's that there are no bad days. There are only bad feelings. When bad things happen, you have a choice. You can either break down or you can break open. You can fall apart or you can simply go to pieces. That's what this year is to me. 2020 is the first year where I've truly broken open. It's been a year where I've gone to pieces, and yeah, that means that I lost some pieces of me along the way. But it also means that I made space for new things, new places, and new beginnings.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
Thanks for being here. I'll see you next year.
Moving day. Oh, you're cute.
Let me have my machete moment, okay?
Okay.